Hi, I'm Ryan, and welcome to my coding bootcamp journey. In this series, I will share my experiences as I learned to code through Flatiron School's web development program. If you know anyone that would enjoy this series, please send them to the link at the bottom of your screen. All right, so what is new this week? Actually, I have a good deal of I have a good deal to cover. I covered a good deal of ground this week. So one thing that I got through was context in JavaScript functions, which that's kind of another way of saying scope, but not really. Um, it's kind of a sub aspect of scope or an aspect or whatever, but it's kind of just describing kind of like like when you're calling doing something kind of defining kind of like the square that you're in, I guess, so to speak. Yeah, that's something I'll probably have to review again because that sounds like a terrible that sounds like a terrible explanation. But whether it's being called in a global context or the context of a certain function or the context within a class or what have you. And also we touched on functional programming, which is much bigger than JavaScript. But it's a way of programming where you set up functions where if you have a certain input, you're always going to get a certain output, regardless of the state of the well, I don't know if you would be using objects in functional programming, but and that makes no sense. But there's languages that are built for functional programming, like Clojure, Haskell, and I think Lisp is one as well. But the I think functional programming kind of got built into JavaScript later on. Don't quote me on that though, but it's very predictable, and with object oriented programming, like the state of the object is kind of goes along with it, whereas functional programming is stateless. It doesn't care. And then I also touched learned about how to do object oriented programming in JavaScript as well. And so at the end of all that, I got to my project. so so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. And as far as struggles, yeah, my biggest one was functional programming in JavaScript. I'm not sure if it's the if it I I'm not sure if my struggle involved wrapping my head around functional programming or how functional programming is implemented within JavaScript. Because just trying to wrap my head around JavaScript alone has been a big struggle for me. So uh, I'm not sure like where the lines of that Venn diagram are for me personally, as far as like which one I actually have a bigger struggle with, the philosophy of functional programming or the way that it's implemented in JavaScript. I don't I don't know. Um, but yeah, that was my big struggle this week. And victories, well, I was building, well, one of the labs involved essentially setting up a big functional library where you have we were calling you'd set up custom functions that 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 spat out certain certain outputs, and some of them involved like a secondary function that the test used, and yeah, it was, man, it was complicated. And I have to give the technical coaches and ask a question, uh, a big shout out in this. They really helped me through a lot of difficult aspects of this. There were many times where I wasn't sure if I was even barking up the right tree, or or what have you, and they really helped me kind of work through my big pockets of ignorance. So that was my big victory. And as far as what I'm looking forward to is working on my fourth project. So in this one, it's a single page application where we're setting up Rails as an API for the back end, and just straight HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for the front end. And or, there's is just one single page, and all all of the user interactions are done with JavaScript. And I already have one idea that I'm kind of running on. So my next video will be a video would be a walkthrough of it. So yeah, definitely look. So yeah, that's all I have. So yeah, there's a bit of a rickety thing here. So that's all I have for you this week. So I do thank you for watching. If you want to stay up to date, please like and subscribe. Feel free to check out the rest of this series. And if you have any comments or questions, please post them below. And I'll see you in the next chapter.